15, verses 11 and 12. Take a moment to thank Pastor and the pastoral leadership team, all the pastors we have, great men and women of God that we've been blessed to follow. Forgive me, I'm not sick. I get to crying and my nose gets to running. Luke chapter 15, verse 11 says, "And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living." You may be seated. This is a well-known story, the story of the prodigal son. In the scriptures I just read, he asked for his inheritance, and his father gave it to him. And in verse number 13, it tells us that he wasted it. In verse 15, it tells us that he got hungry and he started looking for a job. In verses 17 through 19, he decides he's going to go home. He says, the servants there have it better than I have it here. In verse number 20, the father saw him and came running. In verse 21, he asked for forgiveness. The father doesn't even pay attention to his question, doesn't address it. He dresses him with a robe and a ring. And then he throws him a party in verses 22 through 24. The older brother was in the field and he grew very jealous. And the father responds in verse number 31 and 32, and he says, "And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead, and is alive again, and was lost, and is found." This is a story of redemption. It's a story of restoration. It's a story of a sinner who came home. A father who saw what his child became, but only wanted to talk about what this child meant to him. This is a story about a brother who grew bitter. Brother Joey, he grew petty. He wouldn't go into a party for his own brother. His own brother had been gone. How petty is that? I wonder, as much as we talk about it, are we ready to see backsliders come home? How many of us would run up to them, give them a hug, take off our jacket, and say, just come as you are. You don't get right to get God, you get God to get good. These are scriptures, these are sayings we like to say to sinners, but we don't like to say them to backsliders. I've had situations in the last couple of months, run-ins with young people I've loved. I don't have any idea how to begin to deal with watching, knowing. How many of us are already beginning to judge, saying, I know them, I know where they are. But the Father brought them in. Amen. The Father brought them in. Church, I don't mean any harm. I can't understand what some of you go through with children who are not here. I don't understand it. But I love these kids. I love these people. I've grown to love the people. I call them kids. Some of them were in youth. Some of them are adults. I mean no harm by that, but just grow to love these people. And I mean, honestly, like I said, I'd take my jacket off. I don't care. I'd fight their own mom and dad if I had to. Just to see them here. Yes, they know better, but that's not my problem. Church, I have a burden for souls, yes, but I have a burden for the backslider. I thought I knew how to end, but I don't. I don't. If we're going to grow, some of it's going to come from those we've already taught. Church, I love you guys, and be blessed.